I thought it's got to be legitimate. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be like, how could you get the prime minister endorsing it if it's not, official?
Since there was that hubbub about the bot farm, and there was accusations from the NDP flying around, we're getting an interesting, I think, preview of what's going to be happening in the next election. And one of the things that we wanted to touch on is actually something that we recorded last night, actually 2 nights ago, but we decided that we were going to save it for the live stream because there would no doubt be questions about it, and we wanted to kind of expand on the topic a little bit more because it's really, really important.
It's really kind of convoluted too.
Yeah.
So we do want to say thank you very much to Kim for bringing this topic to our attention. And one other thing that we'll note is we are not going to put the source material for this into the chat.
And that's all you're going to say, because otherwise you're going to spoil it.
Oh, okay. So I have to be quiet. So I apologize in advance. We are not going to provide source material for this, but you will see it on screen.
You'll understand why later.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at what the heck we're talking about. So a story has been circulating. And the story is Bank of Canada halts live broadcast after Pierre Poilievre's big reveal. And I want to make sure. So in here, you can see in the there's a picture of Pierre and there's a big caption. We'll get back to that. But it says, despite all the difficulties, our editorial staff decided to publish this interview. What are they talking about? So it says, fresh off his dramatic ejection from Parliament, Pierre joins the show to dish on the crazy policies he claims Trudeau is keeping under wraps. Is the CPC leader spilling the tea, or is there more to the story? During a recent episode of CHCH News, a heated exchange erupted between host Adam Atkinson and guest Pierre Marcel Poilievre. The discussion took a dramatic turn when Atkinson accused Poilievre of concealing his NevadaBit app platform.
Now, I'm going to interrupt Ryan and say, please don't look that up on Google. Don't try to find a website or anything like that. We don't know if this particular app is malicious or not. From
regular citizens calling him out in front of thousands of live viewers. In a panic-stricken response, the TV channel's executives abruptly pulled the interview from the airwaves, refusing to address the public outcry or the reckless conduct of their anchor, Adam Atkinson. Okay, so what are they talking about? So this goes on to say that basically Pierre was looking at his phone and Adam Atkinson was questioning about it, and Pierre goes on to talk about how he's made a lot of money, and Adam is saying, how did you do that? And he says, oh, I have this app, and you just sign in and create an account and do some things, and then you make a lot of money. And then all of a sudden it alleges the Bank of Canada governors intervened and shut it down. And then it goes on to say that they got one of their own alleged journalists to try this app, and they produce some screenshots, show a Royal Bank account, and it is a magical moneymaker. And then you have all these comments at the bottom of this quote unquote story, asking, does this work, and everything like that. So this is 100% fake. 100% fake. Now, a lot of people say, yeah, I knew it was a scam. That's great. That's great that you do. But before we go into how this was a scam, we're going to go to, again, as we always do, the source of where this actually was kind of pilfered from, which is a CHCH News interview with Pierre Poilievre. So let's see what actually happened.
Deepfaked videos have taken over social media to a point where you don't know what you're watching is actually real or if it's fake. Now, the fake videos range from celebrities like Tom Cruise doing magic to Ryan Reynolds hawking a product online. But this week, CHCH learned that one of our videos has been altered to scam seniors out of money. What could you do for those Canadians as Prime Minister?
Well, let's start with housing right now.
This is the actual video of an interview I did with Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre back in March.
You went to visit a retiree who earns around $60,000 per month and featured it on your channel.
This is the deepfake video that was found on Facebook, except this video is trying to scam people out of money.
I think it is absolutely frightening that we've entered into this era with technology that allows people to very inexpensively to create a deep fake video so that within the video, it can appear as though someone is saying something that they never said in the first place. It really is a post-truth era.
Tech expert Amber Mack says 90% of deepfake videos are actually non-consensual pornography.
This means that someone is creating a video of someone, mostly women, appearing to be in a video that they were never in the first place. This really is a revengeful way for people to act online, and it is unfortunately really the evolution of trolling and extremely concerning.
Very pleased to be joined by the news director here at CHCH. That's Greg O'Brien. And
CHCH News Director Greg O'Brien joined Louis Butko, the host of the Newsmakers podcast, to discuss the deepfaked CHCH video.
This is an ad on Facebook. This is Facebook making money from basically a criminal organization who has stolen our video and are trying to steal people's money. So Facebook is making money off of that advertising for the people to target Facebook's users. And they're not doing anything about it. Like, this is Tony Soprano level of business opportunity. Like, it's just ridiculous.
ironically, on a platform that we're not allowed to post on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wonder why it's going on to Facebook if they're not putting any Canadian news on. And look, there we are, completely faked. The background is correct. Adam's face is correct. Pierre Poilievre's face is correct. Except if you're looking at it critically enough, you can see their mouths are a little bit weird.
Amber Mack says you can spot a deepfake video now, but the technology is advancing quickly.
But I do want to warn people that over the coming months and over the next couple of years, what we'll see with this technology is that it becomes so sophisticated, you probably aren't going to be able to tell if it is a deepfake or not.
So, like the video, the article is complete garbage. And let's go back to that. It's not even CBC.
So if you look, it looks pretty close to the CBC website, but if you look at the address bar, it doesn't start with cbc.ca. It starts with a completely different address. And again, we're asking you not to go to this just because we don't know if going to this website is going to cause any malicious activity on your machine. So that was number one, is that the website it's saying it is doesn't actually match what's in the address bar.
Next, you'll see the typical, CBC menu up here and stories along here, but these should normally be links, but you actually can't click on any of these. None of them work because they're not links, because this is just text lifted from the CBC website and a skeleton set up to duplicate it. There are links in here, but all there is that is in here is it links to the app or the website that they want you to go to start using this scam app, which steals your money.
Yeah, it looks like a normal news website, or CBC's website to be specifically, but none of the menu items on the top are actual links. Even the stories that are presented on the side, popular now in news, none of those link. Those should be proper links on an actual news website, because they want to keep you on the website. They want to keep you looking, because the longer you're on the website, the more ad revenue they'll get, etc., etc. Maybe you'll share some of their stories, that sort of thing. Another thing that had really tipped me off that something was not right here was that if you look underneath the photo of Pierre, well, actually the photo itself, because everybody knows he's not been wearing his glasses for over a year now. So it would be a very odd choice for a news agency to use a stock photo of Pierre with his glasses. It kind of set off alarm bells as well. But underneath the photo, typically on websites, news websites, under the photo, it'll have a very short caption, like maybe one, maybe maximum 2 sentences.
Like it would probably stop there.
Yeah. And then it'll have like a thing that says, like from Getty Images or, with files from Associated Press or something like that. This doesn't have that byline. And it's like a paragraph and a half in and of itself. So that's very strange to have under a photo like that.
The other thing is this actually, so yesterday, actually 2 days ago, this actually said August 30th, but this actually is configured
to show the current day?
To show the current day, because it says September 1st now.
Oh, yeah, we do have screenshots of it saying August 30th, so that's interesting.
And it also says, fresh off his dramatic ejection from Parliament. Well, that happened last parliamentary session. Parliament hasn't been in session over the summer.
Yeah, so that happened April or May, I think.
So that's one problem. And then it says, on a recent episode of CHCH News. Well, here's the thing. This episode of CHCH News occurred in 2023. So...
Well, that's it. If they're saying it's recent, it can't be that recent because he hasn't been wearing his glasses since, I don't know. We saw him in, what was it, July of last year, so July 2023.
Yep.
And he did not have his glasses then. So, it was probably, I'd say, spring of 2023 that he ditched the glasses. So it's not a recent interview now, is it?
Also, none of the social media links work.
Yeah, you can't click Facebook, you can't click LinkedIn or X or Reddit or whatever.
And one thing that you'll find at the bottom is a link that says, go here. You only have 45 minutes and there's only 43 free accounts. 42. This is all counting down. It creates a sense of urgency, and almost all scams will create a sense of urgency that it takes advantage of the anxiety of missing an opportunity, and it's supposed to try to get you to click on here. So this will actually count down like all the way,
and then it stops at 1 because we waited for a while, and it stops at 1.
And then if you refresh, like this is what happens if you refresh. There you go. I have my time back, so I have all the time in the world to click on this. So it's just a complete fake website. Now, one thing that we did do is, because again, we try to be as objective as possible, we actually notified CBC that someone stole their website and is pilfering this to try to scam Canadians
people, yeah.
out of money. And we actually received a response from them saying, thank you very much for bringing this to their attention. And they forwarded this on to their legal department. Now, unfortunately, I don't think a lot is going to be done here, because in checking where this website is hosted, who created it, this was actually created on a kind of a no-name type of a hosting or domain registrar, and it was created out of Iceland
of all places.
Yeah.
So probably a VPN.
So so no doubt this is just someone in the Far East trying to scam Canadians out of a lot of money.
Artificial intelligence is transforming the way some companies do business, but it's also helping criminals as well.
Thieves can use AI to do voice cloning and create deepfake videos to trick us into making bad investment decisions. Pat Porn has our story on Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Andrea and Nathan. Videos are popping up on social media that promise you can get rich quick, investing in certain platforms. Some videos use celebrities or politicians, but they're fakes. The videos have been manipulated, and what they're saying isn't true.
It had Justin Trudeau endorsing it.
Stephen Henry of Toronto says in November he saw a story on YouTube that appeared to have Prime Minister Justin Trudeau recommending a cryptocurrency exchange.
We have developed an investment platform that we believe can help every Canadian safeguard their financial future, even during periods of inflation. They simply need to visit our website and fill out the form. After that, our manager will contact them.
Based on the video, Henry decided to invest.
I thought it's got to be legitimate. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be like, how could you get the prime minister endorsing it if it's not, official?
He started with $250 and kept investing more as it appeared his account had grown to over $40,000. But the video was a fake. He couldn't take his money out, and he was scammed out of $12,000.
When I try to get something back, it's the hardest process in the world.
If you're not up on all of this cyber intelligence, you go about your day very aloof to what's going on behind the scenes, or I call it behind the screens.
A survey by the cybersecurity company Okta found that 75% of Canadians fear their identity could be stolen due to advancements in AI, and only 20% are confident they can recognize AI attempts to compromise their information.
I think AI is here to stay, and I think it's going to continue to get more and more complex, which is why it's so important as Canadians that we fundamentally secure what we're putting out on the internet.
So you're saying that all of that was AI?
Henry says that $12,000 was his savings he was trying to grow to find a better place to live.
Now I'm being ripped off all my chances of even making a life. That's all I have.
So I feel bad for Henry because he obviously doesn't know a lot about technology, doesn't know about deep fakes and all this stuff, and even the news organization that they're calling this AI. Well, it's not AI that put the video there. AI was used to help create the deep fake video, but it's not AI coming to steal your money. It's people coming to steal your money.
Right. This is a crime. This is fraud.
So, yeah. So I do feel bad for Henry because obviously he's, one of many Canadians that are struggling, trying to make good financial decisions. Unfortunately, he was probably a Liberal voter because he trusted something that Trudeau said. But despite that, he trusted something that Trudeau said, and he didn't even say it. And there's also other media where it's Chrystia Freeland saying the same thing. So just we wanted to make sure that everybody knew that it's not just targeting Pierre, because that was my first thought. Is this almost like a coordinated attempt with the bot farms and this to try and discredit Pierre? But then we found that no, it is not isolated to Pierre. It's taking advantage of political figures on both sides of the aisle. So when we say all is not what it seems, it is not in a lot of cases of what you're going to see online. And as we look forward to the next election, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what types of foreign interference media, articles, videos surface to try to influence Canadians one way or the other. And the one thing that I would caution everybody is if there is something very provocative that comes out about either Pierre, Justin, or any of the other political leaders, take a pause for a minute and ask some questions. Is this real? It's because it'll be very curious if it comes out around election time. So is it real, and how do I know it's real? How can I fact check this? And do the best you can, because that's all we really have. And as I said in the CHCH video, this was an ad being run on Facebook, which I find is rich, because when I was running a car show fundraiser, Facebook wouldn't let me run the ad, and all it was a flyer.
Yeah, it was like we were just listing all of the people who were at the fundraiser to help support the charity. So there's a bunch of different small businesses. We had thanked the venue where it was held, and we had also mentioned Dan's name because Dan was there. He had a booth there, and they had provided a donation to the charity. And Facebook wouldn't let it up.
Well, and it was because we also mentioned that we were running a 50-50 draw on a raffle ticket, and it said, well, you're doing gambling, so we can't run your ad. So let me get this straight, Facebook. I can't run an ad that is showing that we're doing a 50-50 draw and a raffle ticket at a car show fundraiser to raise money for a equine therapy center that use horses to provide therapy to children and adults with conditions such as Parkinson's and other types of damage. But you're going to allow this criminal organization to run a deep fake video. And when you're challenged on it by the news organization that actually created the video, you won't take it down.
Well, and Facebook is profiting off of these ads. So you know, like they've got a hand in it. They're spreading it to their audience essentially and taking money for it and exposing their audience to this scam.
So this is something that everybody needs to be really, really careful of. And remember, there is no get rich quick schemes out there. None.
Well, and that's what these scammers are relying on right now, is Canadians are desperate. 25% of Canadians are living in poverty, and they're taking advantage of that, and they're telling Canadians, oh, you can get rich quick by just doing this one simple thing. Just keep in mind, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And another thing to keep in mind is that sitting politicians are not permitted to endorse like people, products, services, etc.
And the other problematic thing about this is Henry, he will never get that $12,000 back.
No, because it wasn't invested. It was handed to the scammers. And unfortunately, he didn't know that.
So if you know anybody that is talking about an app called Nevadabit, warn them about it. Stay away from it. It is a scam app. It is not an investing platform.
And it changes. I mean, the one that Henry invested in was named something else, right?
Yeah.
So just always stay vigilant, and remember, politicians cannot endorse anything in this country.